variables and arrays which are used in. First, let's see the variables. Variables are some names which are selected by the user, the programmer. There is a rule to define a variable. To select a variable, you have to follow a rule. That rule is explained here. A word of some length, of any length, can be used. Full length word can be used to create a variable. In that word, you can use small letters and capital letters, and numbers also can be used. But a name or a variable name should not begin with a number. That's very important. Should not that the variable name should not begin with a number. You can start it with some a capital letter, English letter, a small English letter. For example, you can see examples are given here for variables f1, g1, my plot, sol, and these are some examples of variables. What is actually mean by variable? Variable is a location in the memory in which you can the system stores data. So that location gets a name. So variables creates or reserve some space in the memory to store data. In other words, variables can take value. It can accept value. Variables can accept value depending upon the nature of the variable. There are different types of variables. In general, variables can accept value, and these values which are given to the variables are assigned. We say that, and technically we say that we assign values to the variables. So for that there is a syntax, a specific syntax is there for assigning values to variables. We are coming to that point. Okay, the general rule to define a variable, that's in more detail it is given here, but you can in simple words we can say that it must contain it can contain lower letter and lowercase letter English letters and uppercase English letters and also numbers, but it should not begin with a number. Then delimiters are brackets. In simple words we can say that they are brackets. Two types of brackets are used. The open brackets, that is the ordinary bracket, simple bracket, and other type is the square brackets. So these two types gives clarity to the expression. The concepts used in expression that you can understand while handling, while discussing different program steps. Okay. Then lists, tables, and arrays, and these concepts are they are related. Three concepts which are related. First, let us see what's mean by list. List is a list of items. By list we mean a list of item. The syntax of a list is the item in square bracket. The items are written separated by commas. That is the syntax. You can see here the square bracket e1 comma e2 comma etc. Then dots, 3 dots, and then comma en. Then closing it is then closed. The list is closed. This list, it contains items, and this list these items or as a whole, the list is then assigned to some variable. For example, here it is assigned to the list. The list, for example, here the list is 1 3. The list contains 1 3 5 7 and 9. These numbers are included in the list, and this list this list is assigned to the variable v. So here v is a variable. V is an example of a variable. The small letter v, you can use capital V also. Small letter v, in small letter v, this list is assigned. It is given to that variable. So see, this is a statement. This is a statement used in Sage. And after giving this statement, after typing the statement, if you type v and then give enter, if you strike enter, then you can see that this list of numbers are displayed in the output. What does it mean? It means just by typing the variable name and then entering, you are asking the system to system or SAGEMATH to display the content of the variable. Okay, this is that means that statement works like the print statement. Print the content. Actually, you are not specifying it to print. You are not typing in the clear way to print, but it will understand. The system will understand that it has to print the content. Okay. Next, after defining a list, how can we take the items stored in a list one by one? Suppose you want some fifth item. Suppose there are total 7 items. Then if you want to take the sixth item, now how can you extract that a particular item from a list? So there is a way to take an item from a list very clearly. You have to give an expression very easily. You can take that. You have to type it. First you have to type the name of the variable, and then in square bracket the position of the item in the list you have to specify. But what is meant by the position of an item? The position in a list. The first item occupies the 0th position. The 0 is the position number, position label for the first item, and then the next item gets the label 1, or the position name is 1. And likewise it goes, and so the first item is 0th item, then second item is then first gets the number 1. So 0th, then 1, first, 0th, first, second, third, like in that order it goes. So if you want from this list, suppose you want to take this the number 7. You want to take a 7 out, then you have to give the command that v in square bracket 0, 1, 2, 3. This is the third item. Actually, then it is the 7 is numbered here as the third item. 0th, first, second, and third item. So you have to give the command v in square bracket 3. So v 3 in square bracket. Then enter. That's it is given here. It is explained. It is given here. V in square bracket 3. Then the system will display. SAGEMATH will display that item. It will take that item from the list and it will display. Okay. Suppose you want to display the last item. Then you have to give v. You have to write v4 in square bracket. If you want the 1 to be displayed, then you have to write v0, then enter. Okay. Next, you can arrange lists inside a list. Now that means we are going to see the concept list of lists. So the concept we are going to see is the list of lists. That means it's a list. Basically, it's a list, but in that list, items are not single items. That itself, each item is a list. That's why we call it a list of list. And this list of list, for example, a list of list is given here with it is assigned to the variable name w. The w here is defined as w is equal to in square bracket. So first to denote the list, you have to put a square bracket. Then it says that a list begins here. Then first item itself is a list, so you have to put one more square bracket, which indicates that, which says that it's going to be a list. So then you have to write the items inside the list in the list separated by commas, and you can see 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. They are separated by commas, and then that list closes here. So the first item here, which is a list, it is closed here. Then again comma says that next item is coming. Next item is also a list. That list contains 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. So they are written in square bracket, in two square brackets separated by commas. And since there are only two items, two lists inside that list, so we close the whole list. And this is the syntax for the list of list. Now see, you are then going to type that list without any error, without any mistake. You have to type that list in another in the next sentence, and next line you have to type it and then enter. Then if you want to display the content, next line, in the next line you have to type the letter W, and then okay, then you have to take the output. And then thus you can see that this is the output. This output will be displayed. Okay, and now the question is, we have a question, how can we take a particular item from the list? That there was a we have seen the way to take an item from a particular list, but here this is the list of list. In this list of list, from the by taking an item from this list of list, it's a table. We can say that it's a list of list, or can also be called a table. And from this table, we can take items. A particular item can be taken by identifying the position of the item in the list, in the table. Okay, here the rows and columns, it comes as the rows and columns. The concept of a row. This is the first row, and then the second row, likewise. Here in this list, let's analyze this the content of this list in detail. This is there are two rows in the list, and so the first row should be given 0th row, the label 0. So the first row is 0th row. It is labeled as the 0th row, and the second row is labeled as the first row. So 0 and 1 are the labels given for the first and second row. And in the first row, you have to take a number. You have to you have to assign position values to the elements. Position values are assigned to the elements in the first and second row. So here in the first in the 0th row, this is the 0th row. We will call it the 0th row. No onwards. So now in the 0th row, this is the 0th item. 0th row in the 0th item. This is the in the 0th row, the first item. Likewise, you have to give the exact position value to each item. Thus we have, this is 0 0, and then 0 1, 0 2, 0 3 and 0 4. This is then it is 1 0 1 0. This is 1 0, 1 1, 1 2, 1 2, then 1 3 and 1 4. So so this is the number 8 in the list, in the table. The number 8 in the table, what is the position value? Position value of the number is this is in the first row. In the first row, It's the 0th row, the first row. In the first row, which position exactly? 0, 1, 2, 3. So 1, 3 is the position value, position label, the position label or position value of that particular number. So if you type W 1 in square bracket and that is followed by 3 in square bracket, then if you take the output, then you will get the number 8. This way you can take a particular item, a particular number from a list or from a table, etc. Next, tables table can be displayed using table. The entire content of the table can be displayed using the table command. The table command is there used, which is available in SAGEMATH. Now, what is the syntax of the table command? Let's see. We are going to discuss the syntax of the table command. A table is used to display. What's the purpose of this command? Table. A table command is used to display a rectangular array or list as a table. So the syntax is table, then in square bracket a list. You have to list your list name of the list. You have to you can give the name of the list. For example, in this case, in the above case, we have W as the name of the list. So you have to write a table W. Otherwise, if V is the number, then you can write table V. See the example. Come to this example. We define V equal to in square bracket, again square bracket again starts, and then A in quotation, single quotation A, comma single quotation B, comma single quotation C. Why this single quotation is used? Characters are in order to differentiate from the number data. These are number data and these are character type data. So this is actually this difference is yes informed. This difference is given to you have to inform that these two data items are different, and this information is given to the system to the system. This difference is given to the system by specifying the letter characters or letters in single bracket. So these are character type data, and then in the first list we have character type data, 3 character type data, and which is separated by another which is separated by comma, and next which is followed by another number type of data, number 1, 2 and 3, and 4, 5 and 6 is another list which that also contains numbers. So this by typing this, by entering this value, all the data, after entering all these values, when we type table then in bracket V, and if you give the command to get the output, then you can see that in the first row A, B and C are typed, and then in the second row 1, 2 and 3, in the third row 4, 5 and 6. In this way we get the data which are entered, which are available in the table, getting displayed in rows and columns. Now here you can see a comma. A comma is in extra addition to the letter C. A comma is there. It's because here the inside the single quotation mark C and comma are given. That's why this comma is displayed there. So if you don't want comma, actually we don't want comma there. So if you don't want comma, then you have to remove the comma from the data given. From the entry level, at the entry level you have to remove that comma. So then you will get the output without comma. Okay. Next now okay. Next we are coming to the loop, using loop command or loop structure inside a table. What is meant by a loop structure? Loop structure means repeating. Loop structure in programming is actually used to repeat some kind of activity, some kind of activity for a particular number of times. So the same kind of activity will be repeated. Some kind of that means the same kind of activity will be repeated for a specified number of times. Okay, for that we are using the syntax inside the table command is there. Then inside the table, after table we write a bracket, and then you type in bracket x comma fx, then brackets are closed, and for x in range, actually we can call it a range, for x in range 0 to b, and then brackets are closed. After that all brackets are closed. You can see you have to be careful about the number of different types of brackets delimiters used, and in how many different ways they are opened and they are closed, and these things are very important. So that much, how many are opened, that much must be closed. So it is very important. Okay, then this is a little bit confusing, and because it contains it doesn't say in detail, it doesn't explain the idea in detail, but you can refer this example. Here, from this example, if you read this example carefully, you can understand the concept. Now the table, for the table, this is an example for this the syntax given here. You can see table, first table, and then bracket, open bracket, the ordinary parenthesis opens, then in square bracket, this will be repeated. There are two items to be displayed in many rows. Two items in many rows. The table contains two items. In each row there are two items, and these items are I and 2 times I comma 2 times, so 2 into I. 2 into I means here star means star in the SAGEMATH, in the language of SAGEMATH, is multiplication. So I will be multiplied by 2. I comma I multiplied 2 times I will be displayed. How many times? And that is that comes next. For I in. See, for I here, I is used as a variable. I is a variable. So for I in the range 0 to 3, 0 and dots 3, 0 to 3. For I in range 0 3, that means you have to take 0 3 and then comma and frame equal to 0. Frame equal to frame equal to true. This is the this is the thing. Then you have to close this bracket. Now you can see, and then when we run this this command, when we run this command, you are going to get the output 0 0 and then 0 0 0 1 2 2 4 and 3 4. See, this is the output you are going to get. This is the output. Now we can compare it with the statement again. Here now there are, how many entries are there in each row? In each row you can see the entries are 0. In the first row there are 2 entries in each row. In the first row the entries are 0 0. See, it actually begins with the number I. This part says that first number should be I and the second number should be its multiple by 2. The first multiple of the first number by 2. Okay, then I must take values from this table, this list. The list contains 0 to 3. the numbers. So for 0, when I equal to, you can take it as you can take the numbers in this list as the values of I. So the first value for I is 0. When I equal to 0, that value will be displayed, and the second position, it's 2 times 2 into I will be displayed, and 0 0. Then when I equal to 1, its value then changes to, automatically it changes to 1. Its value then changes to 1, and then what happens, next row will be displayed. Next, in the next row, I value equal to 1, so that is written first, and then its 2 times its multiple is written next. And then I changes to, it's because you have to take again values from the list. The list contains more values, so until it reaches the end of the list, it will be repeated, the loop will be executed. So next value is 2. I can take the next value 2, and that row is created. This row is created, 2, then 4 is created. Again, it can take the value, the last value, I equal to 3, and corresponding row is 3 6. So this is happening. This will happen when this statement is executed. Okay. Next, we are going to discuss arrays. Array, we can define arrays. Array is a command. Arrays can be defined in SAGEMATH, but for that we need to use some package already which is available with the Python programming language. That package name is Numpy, Numpy. Numpy package must be used. See, arrays are, let's see this, let's read this. Arrays are created using Numpy, the package Numpy, and that means you have to make Numpy commands. It's because Numpy commands available in Sage. For implementing array statements. For implementing the command array, we need the commands which are available in the Numpy package. So we have to import it. We have to use Numpy. That means you have to import. We bring the Numpy commands using the command import. Now we are going to see how this is done in SAGEMATH. How we can bring, how we can add. Bring means how we can include the Numpy commands. For that, first in the first we have to, in the first line you have to write import Numpy, and see the syntax import Numpy. Next we write the statement array x. This is you can identify what this statement is, or what this word is. It's a variable. We are because equal to symbol is used, and then the right part of the remaining part of the statement. And here we are assigning this statement, this part of the statement to the variable. So this is a variable name, and that variable name starts with a capital letter A, which specifies that this is an array. It tells us that it's an array. So that nature of the data it is going to carry is actually that information about that the data is also available with the name. So this is a good way of it's a good way of writing the or choosing the names while we define variables. You can give some hints about, one can give some hints about the data which that variable is going to carry, and that's very good. Now array then ex stands for example, so it simply means that array example, it's an example of an array example, but it's a word which is defined by the user. The array example equal to, it carries then it brings the it uses the numpy package, and also it's going to use the numpy package. That's why numpy is used there, numpy, numpy, then dot numpy dot, then commands, then the command array, then in bracket the list. Okay, then it is closed. Next, after that, if we type array ex, and if you take the output, it displays this content. The content of the array is then displayed. Now, in a much more complicated, much more complex form of this the array, complex form of an array can be explained in the next few lines. Okay, we are going to see that. See another example of the use of array in SAGEMATH. Here also we import numpy. Then array mul, that means array multiplication. It explains simple multiplication. Array mul, array multiplication. Array multiplication is done using this statement. Array multiplication equal to numpy dot array, then in bracket, then you have to write the list, then because it is going to be, we want to display the output as a list, and then this each in different arrays, in different rows we want these lists. So the first list will contain, it must contain 0, then up to the last list it must contain let's see the if you look at the output, this is going to be the output. If you want this output, then you have to write it like this. You have to write it like this. If there are only 3 arrays, if there are only 3 arrays, and or 3 rows, if there are, I don't mean array. If there are only 3 rows, then you have to choose 3 here, and starting with 0, then 1, and then 2, up to 2 it will be returned. So this is for the first position is represented by j here. First position is represented by the variable j, and the second position will be the multiple of the content in the first position. So 2 into j, and then close the you have to begin the bracket and then close the bracket. Next, then for j in where j can vary, for j in range 3. See, note this this type of writing, that range 3. When we specify it in range 3, then it will take the value from 0 to 2. Okay, then if you if you implement this, when we implement this, you can see, you will get the output. Now I am going to, after discussing this, I am going to show some examples. The examples of the programs, the steps of the programs that we have already gone through. I am going to demonstrate it. Okay, so wait, I am going to take the CoCalc system. The CoCalc system, in the CoCalc system, I am going to type, first I am going to type, and I want to start the project. It for some time it's kept idle, so it is now in a sleeping mode. Now I have to wake up the system. That's why it's asking to start it. I have started it. it is now it is now active. The system is now active. So I am going to, in the COCOG system, the input window, input line is active. Here you can see the cursor there. Cursor is there. If you type the values, then it can accept it and do the calculations. Okay. Now I am going to display the first one is an ordinary list. To display to define an ordinary list and an array, and then first an ordinary list, and then I want to display the content. First I define the variable v equal to then square bracket, in square bracket. When I type one square bracket, then it automatically gives us the second bracket also, the closing bracket also. So don't worry about the closing of the bracket. It will reduce the chance of error. Okay, when I type the open square bracket, then it gives it puts the closing bracket also, closing square bracket. You can see that here. Okay, now the number I am going to type 2, 3, 5. One more number, 8. Okay, then I want to display the content, the output. I want to display the output of the variable. Now when I give these values to v, it is stored at the place of v. A location is created. A location for storing this data is there. In that location it stores the values. So when I want to see the content of that location, I just type the variable and the location name, and then take the output. Okay, where is the output? Yeah, in the output line, this is the output line. You can see in the output line the content is then is displayed. Okay, next. Okay, next, new in the new line, you can see a new line, and in this new line I want to display some value, some particular value which is stored in the list, in the array. The items are stored. There are 4 items stored. I want to see the third item. Third item means here the position item gets the position value 2. The 0th position, first position, and the second position. 0th, first and second. Second position item is 5 here in the list. This is the 5. This is the value is 5. Position value is 2. So v2, I will type v square bracket 2, then take the output. Okay, 5 is displayed. Thus, this way you can verify that the working of the system. You can verify. Okay, and so see, I am going to do a simple arithmetic. I am going to do a simple arithmetic. See, I want to add the elements in. I want to add the elements in the second position. In the first position, and the second position in that list. In the list, these values are 4 and 5. See, for that, I am going to define a new variable, w equal to let's see what is going to happen in this way. Can we define define a statement in this way? We are going to see. Okay, w, a new variable I have defined. that means a location is created in the memory. A location is created. That location, some quantity can be, some values, some number can be, some quantity of any type. It can be stored. Some data can be stored at that location. Okay, which data should be stored? Now I am going to specify that. I am going to tell the system that it should store some of the values in the first and second position. First and second position means 4 and 5 here in the above list, 4 and 5. So I mean it has to add, the system has to add 4 and 5 and then store at that place. So for that we then square bracket, in square bracket 1, that means 4, next plus v4 plus and v again 5, v4 plus v5, sorry, v2, okay, next the w. If I want to display that w, I type w and then enter. Yeah, you can see the output. What is the output? In the output line you get 9, because that is the sum of 4 and 5. See, this way you can do simple arithmetic by identifying the location of the elements in a list, and you can create your own simple statements, some simple arithmetical statements, and you can implement it. You can run it to obtain the values. Okay, and okay, then and next we are going to see that statement. We are going to run that this statement. Okay, use of Numpy import. Okay, we are now going to see the use of the Numpy, the package Numpy, and using that Numpy, we are going to see whether we are going to get the output properly. So I will copy it and paste, because I want to save time. So just copy, import Numpy, okay, and then I type import Numpy, then okay, then array example. Okay, and this way I can save time. Just to save time I am doing this. Okay, next I think there is no error, because that's copied from the text. If there is some error in the text, then that will affect the by chance, if there is some error in the text, that may affect the working of the system. So there is a chance of getting an error. See, so okay, next okay, next we want to get the output. Variable is defined here, array example variable is defined, and the data is assigned to that. Then type this array ex, again type it, and then I want to take the output. Okay, I want to display the output. Is it okay? Yes, it is. Array has been displayed. That output is there. That output is displayed. The same output is displayed. Array ex, the same output is displayed. Now that Numpy has been imported. It has been used properly. Okay, next coming to this command part. Using once again we copy it. Okay, we want to see the working of this command, that table, that multiplication table. We can say that it's a multiplication table, a symbol type multiplication table. Okay, see, I want to polish it. Okay, now for j in the range 3. Okay, next slide. Want to display array multiplication, a r r a y. The same word you should write, is the same variable you should write. If you make some mistake, if you miss some word, some letter, or if you carelessly, if you add some letter to that word, then it will not identify that. Then immediately you will get an error message. So you have to use the same, exactly the same word without any change in the letter. You have to use. So MUL, that variable, the word that you have defined, it should be same, exactly same, ARRAYMUL. Okay, then we are going to take the output. Okay, yeah, it is there. We get the thus we get the output, the same output. You can see here, this is the displayed output, the same output we are getting here now. Okay, this is okay, this is all for now. Okay, thank you.